Are you still up?
Let me ask you something. Think about the last big purchase you made, something you saved for, something you were genuinely excited about. How long did that feeling last? A week? Maybe two? That fading feeling has a name. Psychologists call it hedonic adaptation. And it's the reason why no matter what you buy, a new phone, a new car, a bigger apartment, your brain eventually shrugs and says, okay, this is just normal now. But here's what's strange. There's one thing money can buy that doesn't fade. One thing that keeps making you happier the more of it you have. And almost nobody talks about it because it doesn't look impressive. You can't post it. Nobody asks about it at dinner. It's options. And by the end of this video, you'll never think about money the same way again. The myth. Someone gets a raise, buys a new car, feels amazing for 2 weeks, then nothing. Introduce hedonic adaptation, the brain's reset button that returns us to baseline happiness no matter what we own. The science of choice reference. Barry Schwartz's paradox of choice and autonomy research. Perceived control over your own life is one of the strongest predictors of happiness. Stronger than income, possessions, or status. What options really means. Let's break it down. The option to quit a toxic job, to say no to plans, to move to a new cities, to take a gap year, to help a sick parent. Unexercised options still reduce anxiety just by existing. The brain relaxes when it knows an exit exists. The trapped feeling. Most people feel stuck not because they lack money, but because all their money is locked in obligations. A mortgage, a car payment, a lifestyle. This section validates the emotional experience of financial entrapment even on a decent income. The FU money concept and psychology behind it. Now I want to tell you about a concept that sounds crude, and that's kind of the point. It's called FU money. The term was popularized by the author and trader Nassim Taleb. And before you write it off as a joke, hear me out, because the psychology behind it might be the most important thing I say in this entire video. FU money doesn't mean being rich. It doesn't mean having millions. It means having enough saved that if something in your life stopped working for you, a job, a relationship, a city, you could walk away. Not forever. Just long enough to breathe and figure out your next move. It's a number that's different for everyone. For some people, it's 3 months of expenses. For others, it's a year. But the number itself almost doesn't matter. Researchers who study autonomy and well-being have found something fascinating. People don't need to use their options to benefit from them. Just knowing the exit exists changes how you show up. Think about what happens at work when you have savings behind you. You speak a little more honestly in meetings. You push back when something feels wrong. You stop tolerating things that were quietly draining you because you're no longer negotiating from desperation. And here's the wild part. Most people with FU money never actually use it. They never quit dramatically. They never walk out. But their entire experience of work, of life, shifts. Because they're there by choice, not because they have to be. That distinction, between choosing to stay and being forced to stay, is one of the most powerful psychological levers in human happiness. The contrast story. Compare two people. Same job, same salary, same boss who occasionally drives them crazy. Person A has zero savings. Every month is tight. They need this job. So when the boss says something unfair, they smile and nod. When they're asked to work weekends, they do it. They carry a low-level anxiety everywhere they go. This quiet dread of what happens if it all falls apart. Person B has 8 months of expenses saved. Same job, same boss, same bad day. But when something crosses a line, they say so. Calmly, clearly. They sleep differently. They make decisions differently. Their whole nervous system is operating from a different baseline. Same income, completely different life. The only variable is options. So the question isn't, how do I get rich? The question is, how do I get free? I want to leave you with something. We live in a world that measures success in things: square footage, car models, titles on business cards. And nobody tells you, when you're young, when you're grinding, when you're sacrificing, that most of that stuff won't actually move the needle on how you feel when you wake up in the morning. The research is clear. The psychology is clear. What makes humans feel most alive isn't possession. It's agency. The quiet, powerful knowledge that your life is yours to direct. The human truth. Think about the moments in your life when you felt most free. I'd bet they weren't the moments you bought something. They were the moments you chose something. You chose to leave. You chose to stay. You chose to start over. You chose to say yes or no, entirely on your own terms. That feeling? That's what money is actually for. Not the car, not the watch, not the apartment that impresses people you barely know. The ability to choose. The real goal. So here's the shift I want you to make. Stop asking, how do I get rich? And start asking, how do I get free? Because freedom isn't a destination you reach when the number in your account hits some magic figure. It's a feeling you can start building right now. With 1 month of savings. With one obligation you remove from your life. With one decision you make because you wanted to, not because you had to.